Welcome everyone to Your Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time.
None of that affects how you are going to change the world.
That's right.
No, it does not take one person to change the world, but it takes one person to believe in themselves.
Yes.
That they can make a difference.
I love
to
that.
Inspire others.
And that's why, for me, I try to make it my purpose now to try to help other people realize their self-worth.
Yeah.
Because it's so sad that so many of us, we get destroyed based off of what other people have to say.
Yeah.
I would say do it in your own way. Make sure you're doing it on your own accord and take a risk.
Go out there and live your life passionately. Believe in everything that you're doing and believe in the fact that you will accomplish every single goal. Welcome everyone to Your Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to push past the pain, whether it's physical or emotional. Whatever it is, I want you to muster up enough strength for you to move forward and for you to just get that strength and that power that you need. Because on the other side of you battling all of that, giving and putting all in that hard work, you will have your life. You will have the best and find the best of yourself. I am LaShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. I'm serious, like tag some people and let them know that we're on. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. It has been very nice for me, I must say. I had a very relaxing couple of days. I hope you guys enjoyed the show last week. We spoke with Elder Christian about how important it is for us to pray. And that's exactly what I was doing all week, was praying for the things that I have in my life, the beautiful blessings that overtake me every single day, but also for the people in my life. I was so inspired these last couple of days, just really like looking at everyone in my life that are going through challenges, that are going through certain types of adversity. Specifically, my family members, my very, very dear family members who are dealing with medical issues. I was so inspired by the fact that they're pushing past all of the pain that they're going through. They're waking up every morning with a new perspective, wanting to complete the task that is before them and not complaining about anything. I was so taken back by that, and the fact that I was able to be part of, their journey in helping them as they're going along, trying to make sure that they're keeping themselves healthy, but also keeping themselves mentally and physically strong. I went to church and my pastor was prophetically speaking about how important it is for us to have team members in our life, people who support us, people who love us, people who wish the best for us, but more importantly, people who have the same goals that we have for our life, not just being there just for the sake of being in our lives, but actually contributing to our lives in some way, wanting to go on the journey with us. And I was so impacted by that conversation that when I was sitting there looking at my family members and my friend, by the way, who was also going through something but was able to host an amazing party for her loved one, even though she's challenged with just recently losing her job and not knowing what her next move is going to be, but she still decided to show up for her family member. And when my pastor spoke about team players in your life, the real team that you have that's supporting everything that you're doing, that is happy that you're there to lead them and help guide them on what they want to accomplish in their lives, it made me realize that I have some really special people in my world. So I hope that you guys are out there supporting those that you love. I hope that you are a genuine team player in their lives. I hope that you're also pushing past the pain, because a lot of us go through that, whether it's physical, as I mentioned earlier, or mental. We wake up every day with different obstacles that we have to overcome. We're going to work. We're taking care of our children. We maybe have ailments in our bodies, things that we can't control. We may be just dealing with financial issues. We are just pressed up with every day with something different that wishes to take us down. But it's in those moments that we should be able to find our strength, our resilience, our perseverance. On the other side of all the hard work that we put into our lives daily, we can find our power in what we push through. So I don't know if you guys knew, but this week is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week. I have this amazing woman in my life that I've known for quite some time, like 24 years now. This woman is amazing, and you know, the time that I've had with her, I've learned so much. She actually was one of the people that encouraged me to spend time with my girlfriends, take trips around the world, see something outside of my local environment. She inspired me to do so many things. And unfortunately, she was stricken with multiple sclerosis a few years ago. And I kind of wanted to highlight her today, speak about what she's got going on in her world, how this has affected her, and how she was able to push through the pain that she's apparently dealing with every single day. So if you don't know, multiple sclerosis, which is celebrated or highlighted March 13th through the 19th, which is today, is a chronic autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system, specifically the brain, spinal cord, and optic nerves. It is estimated that over 2.8 million people worldwide are affected by MS. It is more commonly diagnosed in individuals between the ages of 20 and 40 years old, although it can occur at any age. So multiple sclerosis, it's a hard disease for a lot of people to deal with. I understand there's different types of it, and she will speak to exactly which one she actually has, what level she's on. But the fact is that everyone deals with it differently. Everyone has different symptoms, and it affects their body differently as well as their mind. So we're gonna speak to an amazing woman who I love so much, my dear friend Stacy Murphy, about her journey with multiple sclerosis. And the title of the show is Pushing Through the Pain. Stacy Murphy, she is a resilient soul hailing from North Belmore at 57 years young, with nearly 29 years of marriage under her belt and a cherished 26-year-old daughter. Stacy's heart is filled with love for her family. Dedicated to her job for 34 years, she finds solace in the familiar rhythm of work and the bonds she's forged over the decades. Beyond the confines of her career, Stacy's passions run deep, whether cheering on her favorite sports team, immersing herself in the melody of music, exploring new destinations, or simply basking in the warmth of loved ones' company. She finds joy in life's simple pleasures. Yet, life threw a curveball at Stacy when at the age of 39, she was diagnosed with MS, an unfamiliar journey into uncharted territory. Initially blindsided by the diagnosis, Stacy grappled with a whirlwind of emotions. However, in the face of adversity, she discovered a reservoir of strength within herself. Through acceptance and resilience, she embarked on a journey of strength and hope, determined to navigate life's challenges with purpose. Pushing through the physical and mental pain, Stacy embraces her new reality with unwavering courage. Her journey inspires others to find strength in adversity and to live each day with intention. As she often reflects, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. So please help me welcome the beautiful Stacy Murphy. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, it's been a minute. I try to get this lady here for quite some time because I find her story to be incredible, amazing, and inspiring. And obviously, you know, life happens. Things happen, and unfortunately I wasn't able to until today, and it was so fitting, obviously, for MS Awareness Week. So again, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
No
Thank
problem.
you. It was perfect. You called me last week. You asked if your guest who was supposed to come, if she couldn't come, would I come? And I said yes, and you freaked out. Oh my God, really? And I said yes, because you know what? It's so important to get out to people who are suffering from MS or any disease,
Yeah.
how you can deal with it
Yeah.
through your inner strength.
No, you're absolutely right. So that's what I want to speak to today because, again, as I mentioned, everyone goes through different types of pain, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. You are taxed with a lot and you want to continue to show up every day, single day for your people and for, the things that you have to do in your life. So I noticed that you do that. So that's what I wanted to speak to and honestly, encourage others to push through the pain that they may have in their lives. So I begin by asking my guests, tell us a little about your childhood. I understand you are from North Belmore. Did you grow up in North Belmore?
I grew up in North Belmore with a wonderful mother and father and a brother. Lived there till I got married, 28
Wow.
years old, and then moved back when I got married.
Yeah, I was
With
taken
our
back
daughter.
when I read your bio and I realized that you were married for almost 29 years. Like, I've known you for 24 years and it just seems so weird. So odd, or it just blew my mind because I still think that we're 25 years old. I don't know if you guys, even though I said she's 57, we still look 25 years old.
We do not look our ages. Definitely not.
We really, really don't. So that's the point. It was to see 29, it kind of just shook me for a second. But again, yeah, so you grew up in North Belmore, still there. You were diagnosed with MS at 39, and I was actually around at that time as well. How did that come about? Like, how did you even find out? Were there any symptoms? Tell us about how it began.
I think I've always had symptoms where I had tingling in my legs, and it was funny because I was just talking to my mother about this recently, how my mother would say to me, I bet you had it before because you used to fall going up the stairs. It was people fall going downstairs, not usually up the stairs. I had a problem seeing with my right eye. I went to an ophthalmologist, a friend, who recommended my going to get an MRI. He says, I'm probably overreacting, but go.
Right.
I went, I had an MRI, and sure enough, they found out I had lesions on my brain, on my thoracic, and on my cervical. But the only problem that I had felt was my eye.
Really? So at that time, I mean, was it an immediate diagnosis that, with what they discovered, it's MS, or was there more testing and more of a process to sort of pinpoint it? Because I know autoimmune diseases are hard sometimes to pinpoint.
Well, they're very hard to diagnose because actually at the time I was diagnosed with the MS, I was also diagnosed with lupus because it's very, like you say, autoimmune diseases, there's a lot that are linked together.
Right.
I then had to have a spinal tap. But I remember my husband, Marty, who you know, and my parents, who you both know. I went to have my spinal tap, and it's a very painful test to have done, and you don't get any anesthesia or anything. It's going in to your liquid in your back, and it could hit a nerve.
Right.
And I remember asking the doctor, if it comes back negative, does it mean I don't have MS? They said, no, you could still have MS, then why do the test and put me through the pain?
Right.
I then went to my neurologist who confirmed it was MS, but then I went to a rheumatologist to deal with the lupus. But the only thing that showed lupus was what's called an ANA count. Was very high, but I didn't have any of the other signs for MS.
Well, I know that
for lupus, sorry.
Right. You're a very adventurous person. As I mentioned earlier, you're the one that inspired me to take these girls trips. Stacy literally traveled every year, took a trip with her girlfriends, whether it was in the country, out the country, local. They all decided every year they were going to spend time together. And I had never had that. You know, I would take vacations or little trips with one or two people at a time, but not like a whole group of my core friends, my team, as I mentioned earlier. And I just said, I have to start that. And I literally told my friends, it is important that we start taking advantage of the time that we have together and to spend it together as, you know, every year, doing something fun, enjoying each other's time, and not worried about our duties and our family and work and things like that. So you really inspired me to start living that type of life. So I know that having MS, it slowed you down, obviously. But when you found out, what were your feelings initially when you received that diagnosis?
I was hysterical. I could be hysterical right now, bringing myself back to that day, because you have that victim mentality. And I remember looking at the results from my MRI, and you try to be a doctor, and you're looking up the words. And I remember saying to Marty, I have MS. And he says, what are you how could you diagnose? You don't know. And I said, I'm telling you, I have MS, but no one in my family had it. So I'm wondering, how can I have it?
Right.
I didn't want to leave the house. I was so upset. I had a daughter that was young at the time. So how is that going to impact my relationship, like being able to do things with her?
Right.
It was hard, but then you have to swallow it and say, you know what? These are the cards that I was dealt, and I have to fight.
Yeah.
I have to fight it.
Yeah.
I have to know that I have it. Eventually, I don't know where the path is going to take me, because the only problem I had was my vision.
Right.
My walking, everything at that point in 2005 when I was diagnosed, it was just my eye.
Right.
So traveling with my friends, with my family, actually I tell Allie to start traveling with her friends every year. She's 26, start now, and you'll have fabulous memories moving forward.
Yeah.
But
you were still traveling and enjoying, even with the diagnosis.
Even with the diagnosis, I was walking from 2005 to probably 2012. I was able to walk. 2011, 2012, I started wearing AFOs.
What's that, AFO?
It's a brace.
Okay. All right.
But now I could show you my fancy walking pose that I use.
She's going to show us her.
So now I have these, which are for walking.
Right.
And for guidance, because my life has changed when it comes physically.
Right.
So I use my poles for when it's a short distance, or I use a wheelchair.
And
you can't be vain.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to accept what you have, and you can enjoy life with being in a wheelchair or using poles.
Yeah. Well, that was my question too, because you said that in the beginning you didn't really have a lot of symptoms. It was really just your vision. When did it progress? And I understand that there's different types of MS. There is relapse remitting. They have primary progressive, secondary progressive. So which one do you have now?
Now I have secondary. When I was first diagnosed, I took a medication that Marty would have to inject in me. And it made me very sick. So I didn't take medication for almost 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I would encourage people, take the medication. I look back and I sometimes ask myself, if I took the medication, would I be in the condition that I am today? But you know what? You have to also throw that out because you don't know the answer.
You can't. The woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And the woulda, coulda, shoulda, I don't know. I just know the now. So I take the medicine now. But I now have secondary. A lot of people can remain with the relapse remitting, but there is a big percentage of people that progress, even with medication, that can progress from the relapse into the secondary.
When you were diagnosed, and you know, obviously very minor symptoms at the time, and you were still pushing forward and still, you know, just being Stacy, being the adventurous person, the vibrant person that you were, did you feel any sense of, you know, sorry, self-deprecating? Were you, you know, feeling sorry for yourself, or any type of sadness, even though you're showing up for everyone with a big, huge smile on your face and acting like everything was okay? What were your true emotions
Absolutely,
at
I
that
had
time?
sadness. I still have sadness. Even 20, you know, people think I walk around and I have a great time. You know me.
Yes, yes.
I'll have a smile. It's not a front, it's genuine.
Right.
But there are times that I'll break down when I'm not around people.
Yeah.
Because you feel as if you always have to be strong around people, and you don't.
Yeah.
You can show that vulnerable sadness that you're suffering through something. You don't always have to feel that you're this strong, like you tell me.
Yeah.
All my friends, my family tell me you're like one of the strongest people
Yes.
that I know. And I sometimes say maybe I was dealt these cards because I am a strong person and I could deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't do anything so bad to have gotten this.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to deal with the sadness, accept the sadness, and if you need to cry, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. You know, I have a wonderful, wonderful support system. I have unbelievable friends, unbelievable family. I could tell you quick, Allie ran the New York City Marathon
Yes.
in 2022.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget sitting in our Florida room with Marty, and Allie says to me, Mom, I'm going to run the New York City Marathon for you.
I love that. I think we have a picture of the team. Go ahead.
And I remember looking over at her, and I started hysterical crying. Because what she wrote for getting donations, and that she wanted so badly to do something for me and others that are suffering. And she almost wasn't able to because they only allow 40 people to run the marathon.
Wow. Really?
So she had, yes.
Okay.
When there's over 50,000 people that
Oh,
ran the marathon.
okay. Yeah,
but
I'm
they
shocked
only
about
allowed
that.
40 people to raise money for MS. And she killed it. Killed it. She wanted to raise $5,000. She raised $8,500. Wow. And she ran it. She wanted to run it in 4 hours. She ran it in 4 hours and 1 minute because she stopped to give my family and I hugs and kisses, all of our friends.
Oh my
It was the
God.
most, I'll tell you, it had to have been the most special day
Of your life.
of my life.
I know. I could imagine.
What she did. I had my mother and father
Yeah.
were there. They stayed in New York
Yeah.
to see the race. It was the most special day, and I love her
Well,
so
let me
much
tell
for
you,
it.
your support system is really wonderful. It really is. Not only just your family, but like you said, your friends, you know, the people that show up that care. Because I even remember, you know, you still going on these girls' trips. And I'm still going. I'm in a wheelchair. Who cares? You know what I mean? I'm using my poles. Who cares? You're still going out and you are living your life. That's what I think is so important about pushing through the pain. I know it can be hard, and I know that sometimes you just don't want to get up and do it. And I know you have those days that you just don't want to stand up to your day. You just don't want to get up. You just don't want to face it. But when you push through it, and the resilience and the perseverance on the other side of that, to me, is remarkable. So I saw that in you. You did progress over the years, and eventually, you know, it was harder for you to walk, and you started using your wheelchair. How did that feel when you saw it progressing in that manner, and now you're here?
It's hard because I was so independent.
Yes. Yeah.
Very independent.
Yes.
Travel a lot. It it prevents me from doing certain things like travel. I love to travel, but I would love to go to places, go back to Italy,
Yes.
go to areas that I can't now
Yeah.
because it's cobblestone streets.
Yeah.
I don't have the problem being in the wheelchair, but I'm going to be bouncing up and down on cobblestone streets. So it is changing the things that I can do, but I just have to be creative in finding other things that I could do. The fact of being in the wheelchair doesn't bother me, and it shouldn't bother anyone. I don't care whether you're 20, whether you're 70. If it's going to stop you from falling and give you a quality of life, embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it. In the beginning, it's so hard, but go for it.
Yeah.
3 years ago, we went to California.
Right.
And Allie, Marty, and I went skydiving,
I know.
which was so thrilling.
Yes.
But being that I have a walking issue, I cannot lift my legs. Like, I have to lift my legs even to cross my legs.
Right.
To get dressed, I have to lift my legs to get dressed, to put my underwear, my socks, my pants. That's my morning.
Yeah.
So when we went to go skydiving, we had to check with the manager and let him know my situation. Because when you skydive, you have a tandem.
Right.
And then when you go to land, you have to lift your legs up. I can't do that.
Oh.
So the gentleman said, I will be waiting for you when you're going to land. So he was literally waiting at the bottom. And when we landed, lifted my legs. I had to give both of them a hug because my point, you're never too disabled
Yeah.
to do anything.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting. Allie and I had the best time.
I love that.
The best time.
I love that. No,
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing. When you showed me that picture and we used it for the title of the show, I was amazed. First
Yeah.
of all, that I whether you had it mess or not, I was shocked that you was, that you was up in the air like that. But it was amazing. My breath was taken away from me, my friend. I was like, you did that. And I know that must have been so freeing and just, oh God, so refreshing to your soul.
It
right?
is. It was
Yeah.
exhilarating.
No, I believe
it was the coolest,
Yes.
coolest thing.
Yes.
I wouldn't ever do it again. You know, I did it the one time.
Yeah.
But it was
Conquered it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Very cool.
So, oh God, like how did, you finding that this is your life now, how did that make you feel? Like, what have you learned about yourself with this new experience?
That I really am a very strong-willed woman.
Yes, you
person. That whatever you're going to throw at me, I'm going to get through it.
Yeah.
It may be difficult in the beginning. I've learned, no, I'm not going to be playing basketball with my daughter on the court. You know, I can't do a lot of athletic things, obviously, but it doesn't stop me from being around good people, fun people, enjoying music that I love to do, going to a sporting event and cheering for my team, being around my friends and family. And it taught me that I have the strength and will
Yes.
to deal with the pain.
Yeah.
Because the pain is 24/7. The pain doesn't leave.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one thing that people that are maybe newly diagnosed or have it as long as I have it, and with the pain, I've tried everything. Hopefully some things can work for people.
Right.
But it's learning to accept the pain, deal with less stress, maybe do meditation. I don't do that,
Right.
but it may work for someone.
Right.
But I just concentrate on other things that put a smile on my face and that I enjoy. I'm having such a wonderful time being here. I have the pain. It's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But I just live with it.
I
live with it.
That's what shocks me too, is when I do speak to you and I'm, hey sunshine, how are you? With my normal salutation. And, you'll spunky, real, energetic. You have a great attitude, but then you do say in that same sentence that you're in pain. And it just boggles my mind how you're able to function under that much pain every day, and you choose not to take pain medication and things like that to sort of numb the feeling. And holistically, I'm sure you'll try different things, but you're not on any type of pain management type of
No.
So to deal with that pain, how do you deal with that, like, mentally? Because it's one thing, physically to kind of tolerate it. Your body gets used to it after a while, but how do you deal with that mentally?
It's hard. It's hard to deal with it mentally. You have to accept that the pain is there. You can mask it, like you say, by taking stuff that's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I don't like putting stuff in my body
Right.
that I don't know might do something else.
Right.
So I've tried where they say your pain level, if it's a 10, might bring it to an 8. But what is the other things that it might do? So I do try drinking. It's weird. I try drinking a lot of water
Okay.
to hydrate myself. I just recently had my infusion.
Okay.
I spoke with a nutritionist, wondering, is there an actual diet? Because you never know. There are foods that can be affecting
Yep.
the pain. Because
Yes.
with MS, there's a lot of inflammation. So are there foods that could affect? Processed foods can affect. Carbs, high carbs can affect. So it's pretty much a lot with what I was eating, but not eating so much bread. If you're going to eat bread, I'll eat low-carb bread that Allie turned me on to eating this David's bread, a little promo for them. But I try to eat foods because I can feel.
Right.
I can actually feel when I eat certain foods that it's affecting me and giving me more pain.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
interesting, which I was discussing with the nutritionist who understood what I was talking about.
Right.
And I try to, if I get aggravated, which obviously people do, if I knew how to get rid of stress, I could be a multi-billionaire because I could teach other people how to get rid of stress.
You ain't never lied.
But it's a matter of figuring out ways that can help you to deal with that pain, whether it be physical therapy.
Right.
Physical therapy is a good method. I was trying that for a while. Breathing, you can do a type of meditation that can help you. And being around positive people, fun people,
Yes.
your family, your friends,
Yes.
your co-workers. Be around people that exude as much happiness and to
Yes.
take your attention away,
From the pain.
to take it away.
Yeah. No, I
You
get
know,
that.
so do fun things where you're not just sitting around at home
Yeah.
by yourself where you have too much time to focus on the pain.
Exactly.
Find a hobby,
Yeah.
an activity, something that can bring a big smile on your face.
Yeah, no, you're right, because sitting in the pain and being bitter and angry and in sadness, that actually exacerbates it,
Oh, it does.
Yeah, so yeah, that is really good advice. Let me ask you, what were your biggest challenges and the biggest thing that you had to adjust to with this new path that you're on?
Getting up in the morning and getting dressed is one of my biggest adventures because I lift my legs to get off the bed.
Oh, wow.
And then when I get dressed, I have to, like I was saying earlier, I have to lift my legs in order to get dressed where the average person can just...
Right.
And the walking, getting around, because I'm not... With COVID, as a result of COVID,
Right.
I now work remotely.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'm not walking around as much. So I try to go to the store and use a cart
Right.
for stability so I don't fall.
Right.
But I'm not as confident in, say, using my poles and walking in the streets because I'm scared I'm going to fall.
Okay.
So I want to build up more strength. And now that the weather is getting warm, I own an adult tricycle
Nice.
that I got for my birthday years ago from my daughter and my husband, that we're going to take it out of our shed
I love it.
and start, even if I just go up the block and back and just do it slowly. Do it slowly so you don't get atrophy. That's another problem.
Right.
Because when you're not mobile, you're going to get atrophy and your legs aren't going to work.
Right. I
See, my problem is my leg. My problem is my leg. Other people have problem with their hands
Right.
or just their eye.
Yeah.
And then you have some people that are the progressive. They're in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a friend when I was in my 20s, and I didn't know much about MS. Honestly, I didn't know anything really about MS until you got the diagnosis.
I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
MS. When I was diagnosed, I didn't even know what MS was.
All I knew was I had a friend back when I was like 20 years old, a gentleman, a guy, and he said that his mother had it and now he has it, and the only problem that he endured, or only symptom, is that his eyes would kind of go out of focus sometimes. But he was still fine. He had no problems or issues walking. Now 25, 30 years later, he's now experiencing those issues, having problems walking and falling and tripping and things of that nature. So I know, like you mentioned, it affects a lot of people differently.
Well, balance is a big thing with MS. Balance is a very big thing with MS, where a lot of people lose their balance a lot. Standing is not something that I can do for a long period of time.
Right.
I have to sit very quickly because funny thing is my weaker leg is my left leg. However, when I do stand, I favor my left side.
Right. Wow.
Which is my weaker leg. And then when I want to take that step, it's, I hope they go, because I now have to rely
On that side.
On that side.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How has it shaped you then? Like your routine and the way you think and move now? How has MS shaped your daily life?
You're thinking more. You're thinking more about what you're doing in a more hesitant way. You know, you want to get up very quickly, and you think you can get to that spot quickly like you did before, and then you're, oh, it's not going so fast. I just recently visited my parents in Florida. It was my dad's 21st birthday. He was born on leap year. And
Happy belated birthday!
yes, and I brought my poles with me because I don't use them in the house, but I'm now starting to use them in the house because I
Right.
did find I always hold on to walls.
Right.
I don't want to have to use them,
Yeah.
but it's better to use them because you're more inclined to not lose your balance by using them. So now when I was in Florida, I was using them back and forth as I was going to the room because the house is long.
Right.
So I don't want to get my fingerprints all over their walls every single time I was going back and forth. Which is why I say to people, embrace if you need assistance in your walking, whether it be one cane, two canes, wheelchair. It's hard at first. My boss actually got me my first pair of poles, and I'll never forget it because I started crying because there is where I had to accept.
Yeah.
And that acceptance is telling me I don't have the independence of the walking as much as I was able to do before. I still have my independence.
Right.
But it's not that I was an athletic person.
Yes, you are.
I was an athletic person, so it's not where I can do the things that I was doing before.
Right, right.
But it's just a different chapter in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing my girls' trips. I actually have one planned for in May.
Nice.
We will bring the wheelchair because obviously I need it.
Yeah.
But it's important for people to accept you're going to cry. You're going to cry. And you're going to cry whether you have the disease for a day or you have the disease for 30, 40 years. But know that you're going to battle it, but you can get through it if you choose to get through it. Because there are people that throw in the towel, whether it's for MS or anything else.
Yeah.
You have your family, you have your friends that all love you and enjoy your company.
Yes.
Fight it.
Fight it.
Fight whatever it is that you are going through. Because I'm only 57, going on 29.
Yeah.
So,
26.
yeah,
Used to be
26.
25.
you know, don't go through that victim in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everybody does. It's normal.
Yeah.
And go through it throughout your years, but know you have so much more to give and be around.
No, you're absolutely right. And like you said, you're in pain all the time. And every day you wake up, and I even understand others with MS, every day is a different day.
Oh, it is.
And so you can have good days and you can have bad days. It's about, you know, your mindset and what you're going to put forth during that day and during the rest of the week. So that is, I guess, my next question. You know, you wake up in the morning and you know that you have this pain, but what do you look forward to? Like, what makes Stacy smile?
That's a good question. My TV shows. I love watching my morning show while I'm working on the computer. Listening to music, FaceTiming with my family, chatting with my friends.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And my days, my typical days, though, during the week, I'm home. We don't do a lot during the week.
Right.
We're usually home every day. But we've gotten into a lot of Netflix shows, Marty and I, which is fun. But I can't even pinpoint, like during the day, during the week. I don't know. I always have a smile.
Yeah.
I do, like, I'm happy that I'm getting from my bedroom to the living room where I'm working.
Right.
And I'm happy that I'm still able to walk and not have to be in the wheelchair permanently.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy to not have to be. And if I do have to at some point, we'll cross that bridge when I get to it, because that'll be a depressing part, to then have to get through that stage again, like almost as when you're first diagnosed. Like now, when I'm with my family on my girls' trips and I'm in a wheelchair, we have so much fun.
Wow.
I have them, I did a girls'
Wheeling
trip.
you around,
No,
doing
I went
wheel
down
pop
a hill.
wheelies.
No,
way.
we stayed at the TWA hotel by JetBlue for one of my girlfriend's birthdays, and they had a small ramp.
Right.
So I had my friend Nancy let go of the wheelchair, and Sue was at the bottom of it. Like I was on a roller coaster and putting my hands up, and I was literally flying down, and it was so much fun. But that's what you have to do. You have to make fun with the situation that you're in.
Yes. That's amazing.
And just have a good attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not be like a downer.
No, I get that.
Because you can be depressed every day for anything. You might have a different disease, or you might have had a bad day at work.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't let it take you.
Don't let it take you
to that level.
How do you balance that? Because, you know, you're dealing with the feeling and you're dealing with the pain. So how do you balance that to keep that attitude, that positive attitude, that resilience, that wants to keep that smile on your face? Because I know that has to be hard to balance that on a daily basis.
It's hard because the pain, speaking with you now, there's intense pain. I don't focus on it.
Good.
I know it's there, but I don't focus on it, because if I really did focus on it, I could probably cry every day. No joke.
I don't believe it.
Because that's how painful that it gets. And there is days that it's much worse, where I know I can't do anything today
Yeah.
because I'm not comfortable in the pain.
Right. Right.
That I'm not going to be good company
Right.
for other people. And that smile isn't going to be there.
Right.
And sometimes you just want to relax and chill out, and I'll lift my legs up in the hopes that by circulating them, maybe that will alleviate. But I really just try to not even know it's there, because I know it's not going anywhere.
Right.
It's not going away.
Yeah.
My hope is that it doesn't go into my next leg.
Right. Well, you're taking.
Because I still drive.
No, I know. Yeah.
I
know.
could
You're
still drive. But if
doing-
I had, with what's going on my left leg, if I had it in my right leg, I would no longer be driving.
Well, are you self-caring? You know, I'm a very spiritual person. So are you taking those times to kind of love on yourself and self-care, self-love, do something for Stacy, like other than just always supported and surrounded by your family members? What do you do for you?
I shop.
You That's another thing that you got me in trouble with, my friend.
I'm an
I
excellent
became a
online
shopaholic
shopper.
because of her.
Great shop, but it brings so much happiness to me. But I'm a good bargain shopper. But, you know, you ask, like, what do I do? Because I'm not a big spiritual
Oh my God.
person. I can't say I am when I'm really not.
No, I get it.
So what, like, brings happiness to me is I do. I love to shop.
I love
I love to shop. I turned a spare bedroom into a walk-in closet.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Which was it's like it needs to get organized.
Oh,
though.
my God.
I'm not a very organized.
You are
person.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, what are you looking most forward to? Now we know, you have MS and you're obviously under treatment. You mentioned you just did your infusion a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
You're still trying alternative medicines and looking for any type of breakthroughs. Like, I know that you're diligently trying to find something that's going to cure or at least help with the pain, help with the discomfort. What are you looking most forward to? What are your hopes for the future?
My hopes is that someday there will be something to alleviate pain. I'm very an optimistic person, but I'm also a realist. I don't know that in my lifetime that there will ever be a cure for it. I hope that there will be, but if not, let there be something to at least alleviate the pain, because the pain is so grueling.
Yeah.
It's so intense that would give a smile, because I would love to be able to travel to places and walk leisurely.
Yeah.
And walk, like, if you remember our wonderful time in Italy together.
Yes.
And walked for hours in
Yes,
Florence. I
yes.
want to do that again.
Yeah.
I want to be able to explore. So I'm hoping that research will find that there will be something for nerve damage that could possibly reverse it. There was something recently that I had waited for 3-4 years that was supposed to reverse the nerve damage. But unfortunately, the drug failed.
Oh, wow.
So you keep your hopes up, but you're better off just don't be optimistic, but don't have expectations.
Okay.
Because they could fail, and then you're back to the drawing board again,
Right.
where you feel like you were first diagnosed.
Right.
So maybe there'll be something that can ease the pain for people one day, or a method. They can find something that there may not be a drug, but if you do A, B, C, that could possibly help you.
Right.
Because there are going to be a lot more people in the world throughout the years that are going to be diagnosed with it and may
Very
not
true.
have any symptoms,
Right.
but eventually might. and what can help them to even not get, hopefully they'll find something that where they won't even get to that point.
Right.
Or if they can identify what even caused it
in the first, yes.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Because as I said earlier,
They don't know.
They
what,
don't know.
exactly. They
It's
have
not
no
genetic.
idea. Yep.
None of
Exactly.
my family members had it.
Yes.
So I was blessed
So what
with
precipitated it? What caused it? Like that I was reading up on. Like they have no idea.
I was in a bad car accident,
Right. Yes.
if you recall, because you touched me so much in visiting me in the hospital.
Yes.
And that's when we first became friends.
Yes.
And they do say that trauma, certain illnesses apparently are dormant in your body. And trauma can bring it out. And I, as you recall, was in a bad car accident
Yes.
back in 2000. And it may have started it, which is why I say prior to 2005, I probably had it longer
Right.
than being diagnosed in 2005. I don't know.
Right.
They don't know because I
Exactly.
just had the MRI then. So that possibly brought it on.
Right. I see what
So
you're
if
saying.
they can figure out what may cause it to prevent it from happening with people in the future, I would love that for people.
Yeah, I love
Because
that.
I don't want people to have to go through what I'm going through.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that, and that's why I really wanted you here too. Is to share that, like everything that you're going through, and you've watched it progress over the years, and it's been a great many years. Because even when she was first diagnosed, you really had no true symptoms other than and still showing up, still traveling, still your daughter was a fabulous basketball player,
Yes, she
and
was.
you're going to every game. Like
game.
you were a very active person. So, to see, sort of that wane and to slow down over the years, it was interesting to watch. So let me, we know it's MS Awareness Week. May 30th is actually MS Month, Awareness Month. What would you like us to know and be aware of about MS for MS Awareness Week?
Well, when you see people that are using poles, canes, wheelchair, don't stare
Yeah.
at the people. I can't tell you how many times people stare at me. I can understand children because they're so curious,
Yes.
like she's young,
Yeah.
why is she? But I have adults. I had adult in where I work that stare at you. Have compassion.
Yeah.
Have compassion. If you want to know, ask me. I'm such a friendly person. I talk to people in a supermarket.
Yes.
Ask me what's going on with me, and I'd be more than happy to share it with you. But just, I wish people would not be so critical, rude
Yeah.
at times. I had someone say to me, "Oh, are you skiing?" Like, am I
God.
skiing? I'm in a building.
That is so insensitive.
It's
Yes.
so, be sensitive to people, whether they have MS, you see an ailment, or other people that you see in wheelchairs. Be sensitive to them. You don't have to stare at people, or if you want to, walk over to the person, ask them what's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you can engage
Yeah.
with the person and understand, so that maybe later, if you see other people that are going through situations, you'll have more of a heart
Yes. Yeah.
toward that person.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things that truly does bother me. That when I'm out, people either think I'm drunk because because of how I walk.
Okay.
So I'll have the cane and I'll be holding either
someone
Marty's
else's arm,
arm,
right,
and they
okay.
think that I'm drunk when
Yeah.
obviously I'm not. And they just then start talking to each other.
Whispering.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's something wrong with me physically. Respect people.
Yeah.
Have respect for others. And not be so judgmental.
Yes.
And being rude.
Yeah.
And people are rude that affects me.
No, I totally get that.
That
I
affects
totally,
me.
and it is. It's, you know, people can be insensitive. What they don't understand, they don't take the time to show the compassion or the empathy. Instead, they want to question or make jokes or whatever the case may be. Not good. I get the little kids, but when it comes to adults,
get kids.
it's so disrespectful. So I totally get that. So yes, we need to be aware of that. Is for us to be kind to others, especially if we see that they're dealing with some type of disability, you know? So I totally agree with that. Well, the show is winding down, my friend. I wanted you to tell us, I mean, how do you push through the pain? Share with us one antidote, something that we should know moving forward about how you make it through.
Well, you mentioned earlier in the monologue, it's a big thing of mine when I'm around my friends or my family. Everyone is like, "You are so strong."
Yes, you are, Stacy.
And my answer is always, what choice do I have? So I walked into a store one day, and the sign said, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have." And it
Yes.
is the only choice I have.
Yes.
And I will persevere.
Yes.
You ask, what are my goals? One of my goals is to one day also being able to throw these away one day.
Yes.
And when my daughter, hopefully one day, meets a guy and gets married,
help her walk down the aisle.
I'll walk her down the aisle and I'll be
yes.
dancing up a storm
I love that.
at the wedding.
I
And
love
that's, people have something to strive for and a goal
Yes.
that you want to get to.
Yeah.
And work as hard as you can to get to that goal.
I
and
love that.
be the beautiful person inside and out.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here, sharing your story. We're going to put up exactly what she just said, which is basically, you have to be strong because that's really the only choice that you have. You know what I mean? So you keep being strong every day. You are one of the strongest people I know. I appreciate you being here and sharing your story and telling us what we need to do to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. So I want to get guys real quick to the Dare to Be You. And the Dare to Be You is, strength is not measured by the absence of pain, but by the courage to push through it. In the face of adversity, resilience becomes our greatest ally. It's in those moments of struggle that we discover the true depth of our character and the power of our spirit to rise above. So the Dare to Be You, let's push through the pain, for on the other side awaits strength and victory. Keep moving forward one step at a time, knowing that resilience is the key to unlocking your fullest potential. And that's exactly what this beautiful lady shared today, Stacy Murphy. She said, keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. You have no choice but to be strong, my friends. Even though the pain may get to you, may get you down, weigh you down, keep you sad, depressed, out of your element, still take the time to use that willpower, that strength that you have deep inside. She says she's not a spiritual person, but I am, and I'm praying, my friend, that
Thank you,
those
dear.
poles will be gone from you very, very soon. There will be research found that will be able to heal you and to make you even stronger than you already are, because she is truly a strong, strong woman. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Your Our Unity. I want to thank my amazing guest, Stacy Murphy, for being here today to share her amazing story. I want you guys to remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So let's go out there and be some love, give some love, share some love. I will see you next week on Your Our Unity. I want you guys to have a fabulous evening. And remember that I love you. We will see you later. Say good night, Stacy Murphy.
Good night. Thanks for having me.
Yes.